Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. So let's talk the tools of the Simon Necronomicon tradition. So I'm reading from this again. If you're interested in one of these, check out my Etsy shop. So I have a list. I'm just going to run through them. These are all mentioned in the Simon Necronomicon. So if you are reading it and you're working your way through it, then this will help you understand what each of them is. The Agamasaratu, it's the bowl that's used to invoke and make sacrifices to the Watcher. It's made from a fireproof bowl. Agliophotis is the peony flower. It's burnt to ground energies in the Aurelia text workings. The Amulet of Ur, it's the seal to the gate of the outside. It's the necklace that you're supposed to wear. I believe the image of it is on page 11. It's worn at all times by gatewalkers to keep watch over the gate. You do not have it touch direct sunlight, or you'll have to reconsecrate it. The Ara bracelet, it's a pentacle bracelet worn as protection against the Ancient Ones. The Ara necklace, there's two of them in there, by the way. It's the bracelet and the necklace. So it's a pentacle necklace that is used to protect against the Ancient Ones. Then we have beer, which is used as offering libations. We have the black robes, which is for the preliminary invocation of the Watcher and the rites of calling. It's basically what you wear when you're doing all of this work. Then we have the brazier of calling. I always have a hard time pronouncing that word, but it's a bowl that you can use for fire to make offerings to Gabil. So basically, it's anything that makes fire. You can use like a fire bowl for it. You can do it with a candle or whatever. I actually have a pretty cool picture of one in here that an awesome artist made. So if you're still watching this channel, bro, thank you for all the artwork that you did for this. Forever thankful. So then we have a loaf of bread, which is offerings to personal deities that you do in the bowl of calling, where you burn them. Then we have a censer and incense, which is to burn as offerings during rituals. And I always say these: pine, sandalwood, or cedar is preferable. Then we have a cord that you can use for magically binding rituals, so like a piece of rope or string. Then the crown of Anu, which is worn during the rites of calling. Then the dagger of Inanna, which is for preliminary invocations of the Watcher, like the first one, and then the rites of calling. You can think of it as an athame, but it is different from the sword of the Watcher. So it's more like you have a dagger of Inanna and then the sword of the Watcher. One has to be short, the other is longer. Then we have the girdle of calling, which is ceremonial wear during rites of calling. It's black and white in color. So you can kind of think of this as one of the things I can think of is a chumpy belt from the Paco tradition, or an obi if you've ever worked Iaido. It's that big belt that's wrapped around the waist. Where was I? Then we have, and that's only mentioned once, and it's only saying like the girdle of calling, and it doesn't describe anything. There's no picture or whatever in the book. Then the god and goddess statues, which is for invocation of the male and female energies during rites. So that could be your personal god and goddess. It could just be generalized. We have honey for offerings, incense of pine, sandalwood, or cedar. Then lamps, it mentions, which is just the candles that you use during your rituals. Then the lilisu, which I actually mentioned in this book. It's a ceremonial drum that you can use because shamanic drumming and stuff can really help with journeying and different things like that, and going into altered state of consciousness. So you can use like a frame drum, like I believe I showed this in one of my previous videos. Or you can use like a djembe or what have you. Then you have the Lost Bowl of the Sages, which is for the Aurelia text rites. It's crafted from a cracked fireproof bowl, so that's with the Ia-Adu N-E conjuration. Then we have the Mandal of Calling, which is used for invoking spirits during the rites of calling. That's basically your ritual mandala, I guess you could say. Then Olierbos, which is stinging nettles. Then oil, which is the fuel for the lamps, or if you want to do lamps. Then pine resin as an offering to the Watcher. Then the rock of invocations for the gate of Arzir. So you need a big rock that you can then paint the symbols on. Mine is around here somewhere. I know it's downstairs. It's not upstairs. So then robes. So black robes for the initial stuff, and then when you're doing the workings with the gate walking, you wear white. Why? Because we're following the steps of Ishtar. And what is this chart's color? White. Then we have salt for making a circle. Then we have the seals of Nana, Nebo, Inanna, Shamash, Nergal, Marduk, and Adar, which of course are used for the gate walkings. Then we have silk, where you put your seals away in silk when you hide them. Then sweet water, which is purified water for rites of calling and gate walking rites. Then the sword of the Watcher, which is used to invoke the Watcher. You have the wand of lapis lazuli, which is to cast circles and direct and manipulate energy. And then wax for making effigies for use in Maclu burnings. And yeah, that is it. So it's just a cool 3 pages of a bunch of various materials. So you might want to have all of those on hand depending on where you are in the book and how much you want to get into the book. If you want to dive super deep into this, check out my Patreon tiers, where you can go up to just working with the Watcher and understanding the ritual structure, or if you want to go the whole gate walking. If you want to read about it, you can check out my Guide to the Spheres and Beyond, which is on Amazon. You can find a link to that kind of stuff down below. If you want to go through the different parts of the book in a class format, you can do that with me through the Patreon, and you can also check out my Udemy classes, because I have the working with the rituals in the Watcher, and the working with the Necronomicon spellbook, and then the gate walking. The gate walking is invitation only. But yeah, so let me know what you think about this one. If it helped you in any way, definitely drop a like and subscribe if you haven't, because I talk about Magick, the Simon Necronomicon, and all things occult all the time. I will see you next time. Good hunting.